Awesome.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Inglewood Unified School District's first virtual Student Voice Town Hall. My name is Dr. Scott Bastian, and I am the Director of Student Support Services at Inglewood Unified School District. We are here today to discuss and listen to our students' views on race and equity in a time where both injustice and collective demonstrations of protests and calls to action continue to surround our everyday lives. The recent tragedies that have taken place in our country and the pain and outrage they have caused are not new to us, our families, our students, or our communities. The narrative and the facts surrounding the brutality and violence towards Black people in our country and around the world also impacts our younger people. We see our students and families in George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, and countless other victims. We understand that this historic moment demands our engagement with youth voice and youth experience in order to unpack the history of racial and systemic inequities in our communities and schools and to mark a clearer path forward in addressing those issues and creating solutions. We understand that too often the truth behind a phenomenon is not sought through the perspectives of the people who live through that phenomenon. So today's forum was created to take a step in acknowledging and addressing the realities of our students and to set the stage for us as educators and parents and guardians to have honest, bold conversations about our roles and what needs to be done to support and meet the needs of our students. In Inglewood Unified, contextualizing equity in our education system begins with an understanding of who is in our district and the outcomes of educational achievement and success. Inglewood Unified serves approximately 8,500 students in 17 K through 12 schools in the city of Inglewood, which includes students in our Child Development Center, Adult School, Independent Study, and Preschool. A recent article written by Dr. Pedro Noguera, Dr. Tyrone Howard, and colleagues, Beyond the Schoolhouse Policy Report, cites that Inglewood Unified has the highest proportion of African American students in LA County. Yet critical resources like mental health services, access to health, and other basic needs are limited. According to the California School Dashboard for 2019, 97% of our students identify as African American or Latino, where 33% are African American or Black, and 64% are Hispanic or Latino. 89% of our students are socioeconomically disadvantaged or low income. 30% are English learners. Almost 17% are students identified with disabilities. Our chronic absenteeism rate has increased in the past year, now at over 21%. However, our graduation rate has been comparable to the state and county at over 88%. We could examine many more indicators, but these data give us a glimpse of who our student population is in Inglewood. We hope today's town hall provides an opportunity for our school community to dialogue about current race, equity, and school safety issues, inform the development of programs and policies within Inglewood Unified that promote equity, and provide an opportunity to empower our students to have a central voice in the movement toward equity within the educational system. Before I introduce our facilitator for today, I'd like to pause and remind all of our participants that you may submit comments and questions via our Google form. You may find the form at tinyurl.com/IUSD student voice. We will spend about 40 minutes in a focused dialogue with our all student panel and the remaining time to address questions from our larger school community. Lastly, please follow along and share on social media. You can follow Inglewood Unified Student Voice Town Hall on social media by using the hashtag IUSD Student Voice on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And now it's time to get started. We are very excited to have our facilitator leading today's dialogue. Dr. Bernadette Lucas is Inglewood Unified's Chief Academic Officer. Dr. Lucas has been an educator for over 28 years. She has most recently served as the Director of Technology for Beverly Hills Unified School District. She also served in LAUSD for 23 years as a teacher, Title I coordinator, assistant principal, principal, and director of technology. She also teaches in the school leadership program at California State University of Dominguez Hills. Her career has been committed to equity, access, and social justice for all students. She is passionate about ensuring that each student has access to a world-class education that prepares them to not only be successful, but to thrive in a changing world. Dr. Lucas, I'll now turn it over to you.
Dr. Bastian, thank you so much. And I am so thrilled to be here. I want to thank you for the wonderful introduction and for setting the stage for today's very important conversation and discussion. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all of our participants for joining us in creating space for our youth to speak about the current movement taking place and how we can better support them in their educational journeys. I would like to introduce our students who are here with us today. And I have to say, before I get started, these two gentlemen are extraordinary. And I'm so proud to be in a district where I get to be a part of their education. First, we have Mr. Davy Pilgrim. Davy is going into his junior year at Morningside High School this fall. He is a high school athlete playing multiple sports at Morningside High School and is president of the youth department at Greater Zion Church in Compton. He is a rising leader among his student body who has developed a natural voice for representing the issues and challenges facing youth and the community. Davion has demonstrated his passion and commitment to equity, not only in his school, but also in fighting for a better future. Next, Mr. Tristan Castillo. He is a rising senior at Morningside High. He is student body vice president and plays soccer for Morningside High. He aspires to continue playing soccer at the collegiate level. Tristan is also a member of the Sigma Beta Club, which is a mentoring program helping out in the community in various ways. Tristan is interested in majoring in psychology and is considering starting his own practice. Okay, gentlemen and scholars, I'm going to ask you several questions. Each of you will have an opportunity to respond based on your experience and perspectives. In order to guarantee time to respond to public questions, we'll take about 3 to 4 minutes for each of your responses. And I'm going to ask Dr. Bastian to help make sure we stay on time. So I have to say again before we get started, I could not be more honored to engage in a conversation with both Davion and Tristan. So let's get started. What do the current protests happening across the world mean to you personally? Davion, would you like to go first for this one?
Yes. What does the current protest mean to me personally? It means we are tired. We are tired of being unheard. Mm-hmm. And if we all have to, and the thing is with the system don't want us to see us come together and try to make a change. Mm-hmm. So there we come and we protest and we go loud about it and we walk and we stay strong about it. That's the real meaning of protest, coming together to make a change, to find something. Like a lot of stuff is going on with looting and stuff, but really the protest is really mean to change, to come together and make a change.
I love it. Tristan, would you offer your perspective?
Well, what these protests really mean to me is a fight for equality and equity, Black lives, Latinos, low-income communities have been cruelly, treated for centuries now. And at a certain point in time, you have to think to yourself, you have to ask yourself, is this a society that I really want to live in, And it's just amazing to see people out there, protesting peacefully, being out there on the front line and, just fighting for something bigger than themselves. This is for, other people's future. This is for, to get treated, better by everyone, So it's just amazing to see people out there doing something bigger than themselves.
What I really appreciate about what both of you said was this whole notion of voice and voice being included at the table, that it's critical that your voices as young people are heard and that you make them heard. Our next question links to that. What do you think your role as a student is during this movement? And Tristan, would you take this first, please?
Yes, ma'am. So I feel like my role as a student, I'm considered the youth. And, when the youth speaks up, it's more likely for people to listen. And I feel like just spreading the positivity and, expressing our emotions and telling people, what we want to better ourselves in a way. And so, I just feel like my role is just to keep, trying to spread positivity, post what's going on that's happening in the world, just try to get everybody on the same boat so we can see change starting to slowly happen, Yeah, that's basically what I feel like my role is.
Fantastic. Davion, would you answer that question? What do you think your role as a student is during this movement?
I could answer and say to be a leader.
Yes.
It's a lot going on, and we have less leaders standing up. So my job truly is to come with the truth, to come with the right answer, and to be that leader that everybody has in them, but just has to bloom like a flower, and to be honest about everything.
Yes. Be honest about everything. You all are blowing me away. We're only 2 questions in, and I can't. I could talk to you all day, but I promise I won't. Okay, we'll just keep it to our time limit. Number 3, what does equity mean to you? And what racial inequities or discrimination issues have you seen at your schools or within your communities? Do you mind if I repeat that, because it's a really complex question? I want to make sure you heard it. What does equity mean to you? And what racial inequities or discrimination issues have you seen at your schools or within your own communities? Davion, you're up first.
Yes, what I like to say about that is, for the first question, it says, what does equity mean to me? Is equity means that everybody has the same opportunity. Truly, that's exactly what it truly means to me personally. And what we can say about the next question, what does racial inequities or discrimination have issues have you seen in school? I've seen funding. I've seen that we don't have the right equipment. I play football. I'm an all-around sports, and if I get hurt, we ain't got ice to heal. Funding. We need books that's tore. There's stuff that must be said that we feel is like discriminating. Like we get pulled as a second-class citizen, and we don't have funding. We don't have the stuff, we have the materials, but we don't have the right materials to be successful in life. So that's I truly say.
Thank you so much, Davion. Tristan, what are your thoughts about it?
So what equity means to me is, like Davion said, everyone getting the same amount of opportunities, the fairness, if someone is being treated one way and you're being treated another way, that's unfair. And, that brings a lot of tension and a lot of, bad results in the end. And so there's a lot of division in our communities, not only between African Americans, but between different races.
Right.
Like the Latino community, African American community, also what Davion said, our schools, they're not as good as, if you were to go to La Tijera or Beverly Hills, we're not given the same opportunities as everyone else is. And so, the fields are messed up, books are out of date. And, I feel like, this protest is just, more than just, a Black Lives Matter thing. It's for the community, and it's for, all the people who are in the low income communities who just want to be treated, fairly.
I really appreciate what you all have been talking about, because you're getting at issues connected to equity, which include access and resources. Your answers were so nuanced. Let's go on to the next question. Thinking back to your younger self, you're so young to me, so saying that makes me smile. And the experiences you had in middle school and elementary school, how do you think we should be engaging our younger students in dialogue about race and equity? Thinking back to elementary, middle school students. And what would have been helpful to you at that age? Tristan, you're up.
Thank you. I feel as children we're misled with perception as kids about social issues and about things happening in our communities. And those misconceptions lead to, a lot of division. I just wish there were, more resources that help people of different colors and different backgrounds bond more and come to an understanding of one another. Because a lot of people don't like to hear this, but there's a lot of ignorance in a lot of our communities. And I just wish that the social issues were tackled head on instead of being, tiptoed around. Because once you tackle a problem head on, you gain more knowledge about it, and you're able to come to an amazing solution. You're able to come to a conclusion. I just wish that we talked about things happening in the world more instead of tiptoeing around it. Because as you get older, you're less knowledgeable of what's going on in the world. And so I just feel like having these discussions like how we are right now can really help us come to an understanding and conclusion. So
Awesome. Davion, what do you think? Oh, Davion, you're on mute, sweetheart.
Oh, my bad.
No problem.
To answer that question, truly is from what I learned back in middle school and elementary, we need more teachers. Hate to say like this, but I'm gonna say it like this because it's the truth. We need more teachers that care. We need more teachers that look like us. Not saying that we have a problem with the other ones, but they can't understand the obstacles that we had to go through as children. They wouldn't able to see the stuff that we see as a problem. They see it as a brighter day. I have teachers. I have 4 teachers that has been sticking with me till this day. Literally, still to this day. From my elementary, from when I used to be the baddest person to where I'm got to where I've matured. We need teachers like that. We need teachers that's not just there for that 1 year of school. We need teachers that's going to be there to see them go off to college. We need teachers that care. I have this one teacher, her name was Miss Quinn, back in 4th grade. She was saying, she was always on my head. She was talking about how I got it, but I always put myself so low. I always was like, oh, I didn't never like this. I never wanted to do this. So she referred me back to this black man, this black African American man that is strong in his heritage, and he opened me up to opportunities as playing playing African drums in school, playing, doing things in that I love to do. Like, we need teachers that care, and it's like we don't see that, and that's why I want to and kind of I hate to do this, but I kind of want to invite the teacher that actually has been sitting kind of next to me this whole time, because it's it's something that must be, that's what we want to see as kids. Is as much as we truly want to see a change, we want to see the teachers that care. We want to see teachers that are not just there for.
Oh, Davion, you went on mute for some reason.
Again.
No problem.
We want to see a teacher that has been there, that's not there for a paycheck. We want a teacher to be there to actually see that, that this kid has his problems, but yet he's wanting to go to make a future and want to make a bigger day. And some of the teachers that I've been going with through my elementary life has been there and still there. And that's why I say that one more time, because yeah. So I have the one teacher that I want to show you, that is Mr. Hughes from Warren Lane Elementary School. He's a teacher that's been sitting with me all this whole step of the way. And this is that man right here.
Thank you so much, Davion. I so appreciate that. What Tristan talked about was the power of courageous conversations and having dialogue. That's a big deal. And what you just talked about, Davion, the power of mentors and adults in your life that care and that nurture and mentor you. What a huge difference that makes. Thank you both for that. Moving on to the next question. How do we know that we are making progress down the line? What kind of data or information do we collect to know progress is being made? Tristan, what do you think?
Can you repeat the question one more time for me? I'm sorry. One more time.
No apologies, darling. Let me repeat it. How do we know how do we know that we are making progress down the line? So how do we know things are getting better, basically? And what kind of information or data do we collect to know that progress is being made? Like what evidence do we need to know that things are getting better?
Well, I always say, if change is there, you'll be able to see that change. You'll see morally and physically how things are changing. Maybe if it's from schools being fixed up better, you'll just be able to see the change, and to be able to account for all those changes on statistics, like the main reason that this protest has started was because George Floyd was, murdered. Rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
And you'll see the statistics of the ratio of white men killing black innocent men will start to change and decrease, and you'll be able to see the change. And statistics is very important to be able to see that change. So that's what I have to say about that.
I appreciate that. Davion, what do you think?
Yes, from what I think about how can y'all see it? This is some ways from the test scores going up to the police stop messing to where you see less encounters with the black and brown students and police. You also see in the resources that we want to see the resources, not us going to them, but them coming to us. We want, that's what we want to see. We want to, if you want to see the change, that's the change. When resources start coming and looking at us and seeing, oh, we want to help these kids. Or when the police stop thinking, oh, it's just another black kid on the streets, but yet see, oh, we could put him in a cadet academy. We could do something with him. That's what I want to see. I want to see the suspensions. Stop so many kids. Stop being in the office. Stop going home for fighting and stuff. And these teachers, that's the stuff. If that's the change that you want to see, all the test scores going up, kids actually staying in class and getting the right nutriments for their mind that they really truly need. That's the real definition of what I want to see change. And what can y'all see that change?
Gentlemen,
to add on, I'm sorry, to add on to what Davion was saying, test scores is a big thing. And, if you look at the test scores from other neighborhoods, in Beverly Hills and, the Valley and different stuff, you'll see that their test scores are relatively higher. And I feel like that's due to because, they have more resources. So, like going back to what we're saying, we need more of those resources so we can be, better as students in a way. So, yeah, I totally agree with what you said, Davion.
Gentlemen, God, you're moving everyone so much. Let me tell you something. What you just talked about in terms of your education, your access to achievement, you're speaking right to my heart. That's why I come to work every day. So you have the same kind of education that I had, and you could not have said that better. You could not have said that better. Next question. What should our next steps be? Should we be continuing these types of dialogues? And what would you like to see happen next? What changes do you want to see in your schools? Davion, would you start us off with this one?
Yes. Bringing in the community. The community, we need to be more we need to be more helping the community, and the community needs to be more, tapping into the schools and tapping into the educators and seeing what we need, as if like with small donations, stuff like that.
Right.
That's truly, yeah.
I love it.
And for how y'all want to see, we must be honest. We must tell each other everything, no matter what. And we must be honest. If honesty is not, if we can't get honesty, then we can't excel to nothing else. No higher level is going to be pured out unless honesty is given with it.
Thank you, Davion. Tristan, what are your thoughts?
The question was, what do I want to see, continue, and what do I want to see come out of this? Was the question?
Exactly, Tristan.
Okay. I just want to see this continue. Black lives matter. Minority lives matter. And I don't want these lives to just matter when we're killed by police officers. I want to see it matter against gang violence. I want to see it matter when our schools need help. We don't have enough resources. I just want to see people who are oppressed and who are struggling to be given the same opportunities. That's where equity comes in.
Yeah.
And, I just want to see everybody have the same opportunities. And I just hope that there's more peace in our communities and throughout the world. And we can just eventually love one another, not as one race, but, yes, as one race, which is the human race. So.
All right. Our last question. Do you all have a final message you would like to share with the audience? This is like an open one for you. What do you think? Davion, what would you like to share?
Yes, well, to the audience and to all the faculty that's looking at this video right now, uh, a lot of these places where we're trying to make change, it's hard to start at a high school where stuff is already crafted within the children, but we got to also look back at towards the elementary schools, the ones that actually been started to craft it, start to make the Play-Doh become more stronger. Like for me, one lane, like I have like my little issues there and there at one lane, but the resources that at one lane, because now one lane is getting shut down, and I must speak on it. That one lane is must now getting shut down, is taking away the resources, like and taking away the good teachers, taking away the stuff that we needed, and it's getting taken away by the hands, like by like the stuff that we truly need. With that being said, is we see George Floyd dying, and we see how all this stuff is happening. And the question that I keeps popping up in my head is, why did George Floyd have to die? Why did it take for Kaepernick to start kneeling before all of us, for all of this to be started, to be heard and started to be getting put in format? And it hurts me that it takes the tragedy, takes all this hurt, and takes all this stuff that's going on in this community for this something like this to happen. And it hurts that I have to see my school getting, the one that made me, the true school is not a church that made me, it's not a home that made me, but it was one lane that made me to get closed. And stuff like that, it hurts me. But as my message is, the stuff we see, let this not be just a movement. Let this not just be a moment. Let this be a movement. Truly, like if this is not just be as one-time thing, let's come back and let's see, let's better ourselves. Let's keep better in the school. Let's keep better in the district. Let's better the funding. Let's better the resources that the school is getting. And if that push comes to shove, if I have to do it, then let's do it. I mean, we could talk. Let's do it, because I mean, I'm down. But we have to tap into our younger generation. And now I'm one generation, but there's also, I have little sisters, which is the next generation, and I will go through anything for them. And the education is one for them. So if the education is right, we could party all night. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pilgrim. Mr. Castillo, what are your thoughts as we close?
I just want to let people know to, continue spreading positivity. And like Davion said, tap into the youth. That's where it is, because, you have to keep going lower and lower to those generations for it to see change. And, don't let it be a moment. Let this continue for a lifetime. I know this year has been crazy and a catastrophe, but, it feels like we're at the bottom. So that means it's only up from here. And so let's keep reaching out to those in communities that need help, people who are struggling. Let's keep resources coming. Let's have the support that we're getting. I feel like in these times we need to unite as one instead of being divided. And that it'll show in our communities. And I'm just hoping that down the future we can look back and say, and just look where we came from. And, I just want to thank you guys, for, giving me and Davy this opportunity, actually speak here, because, sometimes we feel like our voices aren't heard, and we have a lot of important stuff that we really want to say, and just keep spreading positivity, one love, and thank you. Yeah.
You all, gentlemen, if I may riff off of you before I close out this segment, that the notion that this has been a very difficult year for the entire world, certainly for our country and the state. But what you talked about was hope, and that we have every opportunity to make sure something good comes out of this difficult time. Okay. And looking at the two of you, listening to the two of you, we are in such great hands. I look forward to the day that you are running this country. Okay. You are exceptional. Thank you so much for being panel members and for speaking up. That is so brave, and representing your fellow classmates in our district. I am so proud of you and all of our students, and know that everyone here is as well. You've provided such powerful and meaning insight into the challenges we are facing today, and clear steps we can take as we move forward. Thank you for having this brave, open conversation with us, this courageous conversation with us. We want to also include our larger community in this discussion with our students. So we will be opening up the next part for of our town hall to the audience and participant questions. Davion, let's see, the first question. Dr. Bastian, may I hand it back to you just to go over the organization for the next segment?
Yes, I'll go ahead and read off the questions that are coming in from the public via our Google form. And again, thank you both, gentlemen. Thank you both. You are truly scholars and leaders, and we look forward to hearing from you more. So to begin, the first question from the public forum is, are there any resources you believe students would benefit from that may combat the challenges to equity in our schools?
Yeah, I have some in mind. It's not really, it's resources, but it's within the staff. That we need more teachers. The resources is the teachers. The teachers, we gotta, like, not saying we gotta change the way how you gotta teach, that your teaching is not all that. We're not saying that. We're saying that the stuff that we need to know, we need to know. I mean, we don't get that with the resources that we want to see is music resources. Like, if we have low funding, so we should have the opportunity and not get declined by the district, that we can do the fundraisers, or declined by the school because we do fundraisers, stuff like that. We could do the resources that we can have is something that the student can get. But we just got to be sure the resources that we need to have, make sure that the district is behind on us and not just the teachers that are somewhat behind us. But we need everybody on board. The resources is that we need everybody on board to do this one big project, and that's get all of us to college.
Thank you, Tristan. Would you like to answer that question? Again, are there any resources you believe students would benefit from that may combat the challenges to equity in the schools?
Well, can you repeat the question one more time? I'm sorry.
Sure. What are the resources you believe students would benefit from that may combat challenges to equity?
I feel like we should have more community activities in a way, that helps the minorities, bond, yeah, because like I keep saying, equity, equality, there's a lot of division and, there's a lot of misunderstanding. And I feel like if we have more discussions, more activities where, we can get together like we are now and just, have fun, but also get an understanding going, then I feel like that would be really, really impactful to the youth. So, but start it like very early, with, elementary schoolers, because that's when the mind is starting to develop, and, it'll be more impactful if we, just have more of these discussions.
All right, thank you both. All right, the next question. What do you feel the district and schools can do to eliminate or prevent practices that are harmful to our students? Tristan, would you like to take that one first?
One more time, I'm sorry again, I'm sorry.
No problem at all. What do you feel the district and schools can do to eliminate or prevent practices that are harmful to our students?
Can I come back to this question? I'm sorry. I have to think about it a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Davion? What can the schools and the district do to prevent practices that are harmful to our students?
The curriculum, the way the we are getting taught, and the stuff that we are being taught too. I mean, everything starts with the teacher. The stuff that y'all can see. The question that you say is, what can y'all do? I mean, go back to the good teachers. I mean, really look back at your teachers. I mean, because we sit in class and we be bad, and you see all these referrals going to school. And we go into these offices, but it's like the kids got a problem. I mean, that's all y'all see. I mean, like, not saying y'all see it, but that's what a lot of these people see, is that the kids got the problem, and the teacher's trying to teach, but the teacher can't because they have a problem. Like, we got to pick more teachers that's able to connect, that's able to more tap in. Not saying that all teachers is just bad, but I'm saying that teachers got to connect with the student. If you want the student to trust you, to learn from you, you got to connect to them. You got to be sure that the story that they are fighting through, you're walking with them and not just being held hand every day they go to school and be getting handed a plate of F's and stuff like that. You got to talk and got to care. And so what the district can see is we need more teachers that care. We need more teachers that's willing to go through anything for us. You know, we need that extra 10 miles.
All right, thank you. And Tristan, did you want to address that one?
Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, am I muted or okay? It just comes back to resources. I feel like we're not given enough. You know, we had at Morningside we had a program there called LAEP, and it was very resourceful. When students found themselves having low grades, that program offered tutoring and different stuff like that. Kids who don't eat at home, they had food there for them, and I feel like that was really helpful, and it kept a lot of students grounded in a way. So everything just comes back to the resources provided by the district, and that's what I have to say about that.
Okay, thank you both. Moving on to the rest of the questions from the public forum. Have the recent demonstrations and Black Lives Matter movement had any impact on what you want to do after high school?
Yeah, it does. It has. It's definitely made me want to be more hands-on and give back to my community. Because when I look back at myself and my younger self, I had a lot of biased opinions in terms of race because I didn't have the correct knowledge and the correct information to have my mind develop until later on. And so I really want to give back to the youth because I do have a little sister and I want her to understand what's going on in the world. And I really just want to give back to the community, give them more resources, give them more information, so when they get older they can continue to do the same thing, and we'll see a lot of change happening if we do that. So that's what I want to do. Yeah.
Thank you, Tristan. Davion?
Yes, it has made a huge impact on me. For one, I could say this, that it didn't. It's not really. It made an impact on me. It just really told me that we need to keep fighting. I mean that it's a start, but it also there comes a finish. So what that means is the stuff that we are doing. We need to, like I said, not to make a movement and not a moment. Like it's stuff like that just, I don't have a long answer for that one, but that's what I have to say off that one.
That's okay. Your answers carry weight as they are. All right, next question. Are you feeling hopeful that change will come to your community? Either one of you could take it first.
Yeah, I feel very hopeful, since I've seen all this going on, is a lot of stuff that I want to do, but I'm not going to announce that yet, but there's a lot of things that I want to do to help the community, and so I have a lot of hope, not only in our communities, other communities. I have a lot of hope in the world that, after what's been happening, that there will be a lot of change, and I'm just going to keep hoping, until I see that change. And if there's not change, and, we're just going to have to keep fighting until, we get that change that we want.
All right, thank you. Thank you both. Davion, how about you?
Yes, I have all the hope. I have the most hope, but as of right now, I'm hoping I give them 100% hope, but I'm ready to see 100% work. I'm ready to see the work that is getting put in, that the hope that I want to see the percentages of hope get put in the same percentages of work. So what I mean by that is I want to see that the stuff that we are coming to the table with, the stuff that is getting said today and making sure that it's getting pushed and getting put into place and get put into paper. That's the hope I want to see. That's what I want to see. And if we can't see that, then we're going to be here again and we're going to talk about it until we get the hope that we want to see and get the work done. And all of us come together and take down task by task, but together and not just by business and then student. No, we need the student business that needs to be put together with.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. And that's important to note that, if we're to see progress, that, with the hope, there must be the work that backs it. This dialogue is very important. And that's the first step, is dialogue, then reflection, and then action. This whole time, what's very important is that we have you here and that we keep you involved and support you as you two, continue to drive for change as youth leaders and to inspire others also. So next one, please give examples of how teachers or principals have done a good job at addressing race or equity that you can remember.
I've had a couple of teachers, one, he's the advisor for one of the clubs I'm in, and he's not scared to address, what's been going on in the world, like, face on. So I feel like, even if I wasn't getting information from the media, I would still be getting information from him, as a teacher, And so, he also feels that it's his job as a teacher to not only teach you the curriculum, but, teach you, life lessons, which I feel like a lot more teachers should do, is instead of, only teaching curriculum, teach us about life, tell us about what's going on in the world, your viewpoints. And, like I said, if we keep having these discussions and keep tackling the problems head on, we'll get a lot more information. So I appreciate that. Teacher's name is Mr. McGee, a teacher at Morningside High School.
All right, great. Davion?
Yeah, well, what Tristan kind of said, like I did that one question before. Tristan kind of said what I had to say. What I could break it down like this is the truth that we want to see the truth. Like teachers, like I had it like back in fifth and sixth grade. I had a teacher that when Trayvon Martin died, he did a whole lesson, and it was not one day, but it was like a week. It was a while that we had to make sure that we knew this. And I'm not saying that's like, like he was just trying to keep us informed, but it's cool that we have English, math, and science and all that. But when it comes down to like taxes and driving, like how do we learn from that? We need to learn life lessons, like stuff that is actually going to take and we're actually going to walk with during life. Like, I still don't know how to do taxes. I don't know how to do it, like how to get my driver's permit, stuff like that we could really truly take in, life things that we must know. Like the academics, the A to G requirements is good. It's great and all, but we got to learn the life skills that's going to make us be successful. Because if without that, then I don't know.
All right, thank you very much. All right, next one. Do you talk to your friends or classmates about the movement happening right now? And if so, how has that helped you or them?
Yes, I have actually. I just had a discussion yesterday about the I don't remember his name. I'm sorry about that, but yes, I have been having conversations about what's been going on, and once you hear other people's opinion on things, it kind of tries to shape and form, what you think, and it opens your mind more. The phrase "iron sharpens iron." So having these discussions, with my peers, it lets a lot of us gain a lot of information off of each other. And so I feel like it's really important that we're doing that, because, as the youth, again, we're the face of, whatever's going on, so yeah, I just advise all my peers to, keep having these conversations and keep learning from each other. And yeah.
All right. Thank you, Travion. I'm sorry. Thank you, Davion. Davion, how about you? Have you had these conversations or dialogue with your friends or classmates about the movement right now?
Yes, with the movement, I have a couple of friends that I had conversations with, and it as much as easy as I could say it's going to be all right, they are saying they had that mindset of it's two ways of fear that is going on right now. We fearing that if we walk outside and walk down the street, we scared if we gonna make it back. And then if we scared once we go to school, we scared if we gonna ace this test just to graduate. It's a lot of fear that we are going through that is not being said. That's the conversations we have. We could say it's gonna be all right. We're gonna be untouched by the police, but then we're also gonna be untouched by the grades and we're not gonna worry about the grades that is getting put into the system. But it's like we're stressing on two ends, and we're yanking two ropes that's not connected, and it's hard to do it. So that's the dialogue we had with the movement, with the Black Lives Matter movement. We saying, oh, we just don't want it to happen to us. We're really worried about our family. We don't want it to happen to our family. That's what's truly been said to me.
Thank you, Davion. And next question, how can teachers show they care differently than you have felt now? And what would be meaningful for you to see in our teachers?
What be meaningful and how can we see is when what we truly want is to see that they care, to see that, not saying that they have a superpower to see that this kid is having a bad day, but to see that this kid is also struggling in some parts of the area. So let me not just give him an F, but let me go see what's going on. It's stuff like that, because a lot of kids we could say at my school, at any of my schools that I've been to, they said there's some that's very successful, but there are also some that has walking with problems. And I could say I was also one to I was kind of getting successful, but I was also walking with problems. So what I want to see is more teachers, giving the extra energy. It takes a lot of energy because you're dealing with a lot of kids, a lot of periods. I understand that. But let's just not hand out Fs and not have reasons behind it.
Right. Thank you for your insight. Tristan.
I don't think,
Yes.
I think, well, I'm sorry. I don't think teachers understand the power that they have, for students, we look up to a lot of teachers, and, we're not just there in class just to do work and leave. We're paying attention and we're watching, we're mindful of what teachers are saying. And so I feel like it's very important for teachers to show that they care. And, up until some point, until 7th grade, when I came back to Inglewood, I wasn't taking school seriously, but all it took was one teacher to make me truly believe in myself. And once that teacher believed in me and showed me that she cared, it was just straight up from their flying colors. And, I appreciate all teachers who show that they care. And, like Davion was saying, instead of, giving them an F and leaving them like that, give them the grade that you think they deserve, but tell them why they got their grade and how they can improve. And so it's very helpful that when teachers show that they care.
All right. Thank you, Tristan. Thank you for your honesty. All right. The next question. What fear do you have about your true concerns not being heard by Inglewood administration? Do you think that there is equity in terms of students' concerns being heard seriously? And when your concerns are different, are they respected? Either one of you can jump in on that one.
Do you want to repeat the question really quickly so I can?
I don't know. What fear do you have about your true concerns not being heard by Inglewood administration? And do you think there's equity in terms of your concerns being taken seriously? And are they respected?
I think my greatest worry is if, they're not going to listen to my concerns. A lot of people who don't have the same mentality as me are going to, fall into the wrong holes. So I feel like if the district wants to listen to their students, they really have to listen to them. And if they're going to ignore it, then it's going to be very harmful, for the student body, not only for high schools, but middle schools and elementary schools. And your third question was what again? I'm sorry.
The next part of the question was, do you think there's equity in terms of student concerns being taken seriously? And are those concerns respected when they're different?
No, I feel like, if it's coming from a certain type of student, you have your good students, you have your bad student. I feel like concerns aren't taken as seriously if they came from a bad student. I know a lot of students who come to me to bring problems to, the student to ASB because they feel like if they go directly, their voices won't be heard because of the type of student that they are. And I feel like all concerns and all questions and all problems should be valued by the district, from every single student. And it's very important that, the adults who, handle this, listen. It's very, very important.
Yeah, thank you, Tristan. Davion, would you like to respond to that one?
Yes. Well, that's, once again, Tristan did another number on me that I got to go off of him and say that we just we're fear that we just want to be heard. You know, the stuff that we want the things that's problems like teachers can say, oh, this kid's bad. He's always been bad. So we can't, really can't help him like that. Let's not push to find a solution so quick. Let's tap in. Let's find out what's truly going on. Let's call his parents. Let's see, not to tell on him, but let's see the problem. Let's see what we could fix on. Stuff like that. I ain't got a long answer once again, but stuff like that truly counts to me.
All right, thank you very much for both of you, gentlemen. We continue to learn a lot from you, and we do intend to continue to help amplify your voices. Once when the student voice is put out there in the front, that's when the beginnings of student empowerment. And so remember that, and you guys keep standing tall and keep leading. Our time is coming to a close, so I want to say thank you to all of our participants, to both of you student panelists, to Dr. Bernadette Lucas as well, and thank you all for tuning in, to all of our audience and engaging in this important conversation with and about our young people. I want to give Davy, Pilgrim, Dr. Lucas, also Tristan Castillo, an opportunity for any closing comments before we wrap up. Davion, would you like to go first?
Yes. Well, I don't have a lot. One more time, just for the last time. They say this again, but it's the last time. Thank you to all of everyone that's on here to coming out and listen to us and listen to our problems. Thank you to Dr. Lucas. Thank you to Mr. Scott, and we appreciate the work that y'all doing in the district. I know it's not easy, and I know it takes a village to get it done, but I appreciate the work that y'all do. For surely, because, if nobody could, I know y'all could, that y'all did it done. We appreciate y'all, though.
That's great.
Thank you, Damon. We're here for you, that you are the reason why we are here, and I hold that to heart. Tristan, how about you? Do you have any closing comments you'd like to put out there?
I want to say thank you to Dr. Lucas, Dr. Scott, for giving me this opportunity. I want to say thank you to Davion too, because not a lot of students can step up to the plate and tackle these problems head on. So I appreciate him. It's my brother right there. And just final message to everybody, just keep the love, keep the peace, keep everything going, keep fighting, and then just stay hopeful. Stay hopeful for change that'll come in the future. And just thank you to everybody for listening.
Thank you very much, both of you. Dr. Lucas, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bastian. Tristan and Davion, I have to say, I have comments here, notes that I'm going to read, but I have to say the two of you are like miracles to me. You are exactly what I dreamed of when I became an educator. And I feel so honored to be on this panel with you. You are so incredible. And your comments today, I can promise you, they moved every single person who was listening to this town hall. You made a difference today at your very young age. I know you're as old as you've ever been, but you're young to me. And you've made such a difference for so many people today. I want to thank both of you for that. Through this entire conversation, I hope it felt that we care deeply about all of our students and young people, and that we believe in your success and your futures. For Black students and other students of color, and students who are impacted by various life circumstances, this is a time for all of the school community to unite ourselves. Both Tristan and Davion spoke about unity and working together to solve some of the challenges. We've spoken about equity, that we continue to speak out about it, and we continue to have courageous conversations about race in our schools and communities. That's what it's going to take. And really think about and take action on the experiences we're hearing about today. That take action part is so important. The courageous conversation is critical, but what are we going to do about it? Let me get back to my notes because I can get on my little soapbox and I want to make sure I cover everything. As educators, we believe that access to high quality K-12 education is paramount to pursuing and achieving post-secondary opportunities and setting the foundation for our students' quality of life. The fact is that race and culture are simultaneously very significant in our school system, where several disadvantages are placed against our Black and brown students that create inequities early on in their education. This ongoing dialogue of equity will help us identify where the greatest needs exist for our youth. With a sense of urgency, this is our opportunity to intervene, to protect and uplift our students, and to tackle inequity in our system head on. None of our students should feel anything less than remarkable, capable, safe, and loved, and we owe that to them now more than ever. I'm so excited that we had this opportunity to speak with you all today, and we're committed to seeing this through with you. Please know that every single adult in this district, when we look at all of our students, we see ourselves and we work for you because that's what we're here to do. I wish you guys both joy, love, and happiness as we move past today, okay? I want to give it back to Dr. Bastian.
Thank you, Dr. Lucas, and thank you both of you, Tristan and Davy. This has been a powerful experience for all of us. Regarding change, change ideally is driven by data. And one of the most powerful forms of data is student voice. So I want you to remember that, everybody, all of us to remember that. And we'll be sharing our plans moving forward on how to keep these conversations and critical dialogue going and how to continue to create changes in our district while involving students. To that end, we can expect our immediate next steps will be developing surveys and focus groups specific to educational equity with the feedback we've received today and moving forward, as well as creating a new task force and student committees that will ensure the discussion does not stop here. It is important that all of our students feel supported and empowered as we embrace this movement of change. Inglewood Unified School District is looking forward to continuing this work. And thank you again for your participation, to all of our audience members and the public, to all of our panelists. Dr. Lucas, thank you. And to everybody who's worked behind the scenes to make this possible. Thank you again for everyone's participation, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you, Dr. Bastian.
Thank you.